Hi everybody, it's Alex and today I'm gonna review for you the Dunlop Cx 200 Tour 16x19. Let's go. So I took out this racket of Tennis Zone because I have already reviewed the Tour 18x20 version and I just enjoyed it. But I'm more of a 16x19 string pattern guy, so I was hyped to try this version. So I'm gonna talk about the specs and then we're gonna go on the court and finally I'm gonna give my final rating. So this racket is a 95 square inch head size, so pretty small, with a 16x19 string pattern, and you have an unstrung weight of 310 grams. The balance is 10 points headlight, and I have strung this racket with head links Tour at 52 pounds. So let's go on the court. If you're looking to buy some tennis products online, then I have a great news for you. You can use the code ALEXTENNIS to have 10% off your next purchase on Tennis Zone. Thanks to them for making this video possible, and let's go back. On the court with the Dunlop Cx 200 Tour 16x19, the first thing that I felt with this racket was, yes, the stability, but also the flexibility of this racket. So this racket is really stable due to the 310 gram unstrung weight, but it's also pretty flexible, so pretty fun to play with because you don't have any arm issue with that racket. The result is a really fun racket to play with a great feeling in general. I just felt like sometimes it's tougher if you're not generating any power by your own, because the ball will have a tendencies to land a bit shorter. But if you're there and preparing and being loaded on your leg, then it's gonna be good. So this racket is definitely made for high-level player 4.0 and above that can use their leg to drive the racket forwards and so to have some racket head speed. I felt like when I was playing with higher level, sometimes the 95 square inch head size felt a bit small, but definitely not the toughest 95 square inch head size that I've tried, because the sweet spot is kind of big, even though it's still relatively small compared to other 98 or 100 square inch head size. So yeah, overall, definitely a great racket for a player that's going to be aggressive and that is ready to go to the net. So I have to say that I've played a lot with this racket last week and I just enjoyed it because I feel like it's a great overall racket and it could have been a great contender for my racket of choice. I like this racket because when you're playing with a weaker player or you're receiving a weaker ball, you feel like you can still generate a lot of power with that racket because it has a lot of plow through. So what I mean by that is that if you're not ready to generate your own power, then it's gonna be not a good racket for you, that's for sure. But if you're ready to generate your own power, then it could be pretty good. After that, I've hit with a pretty consistent player that is hitting pretty hard, and I just felt like when I was timing the ball with the right timing, it was incredibly good. So if you're receiving a hard ball, you feel like the plow through and the stability of this racket help you to just put the ball back. And so in defense, it's quite hard because you have a 95 square inch head size, but at the same time, if you're just timing the ball well and just putting it back, then it's gonna be pretty good. At the serve, it was also really good. Not the best racket for kick and slice. For flat serve, it's really fun, but I mean, for kick and slice, it's okay, but nothing that really stands out, but just a great feel in general. So now let's go with the rating. In terms of control, obviously this is the control line of Dunlop, so it was pretty good. I just felt like I had the perfect amount of control to help me, and maybe a bit too much for me personally for my level, but I have to go with 9.5 out of 10 because it was absolutely doing the job. In terms of power, there's pretty much no power, and it was one of the hardest racket to generate any power, and I have to say that the 16x19 helps compared to the 18x20, but I have to go with 5 out of 10. In terms of feel, I just really enjoyed this feel. I've talked about it in some Dunlop's review, but I just enjoyed the feel of the CX line because it's a bit more flexible, let's say comparable to a Wilson blade for you who have tried the Wilson blade V8 or V9. So I really just enjoyed this feel compared to the other really stiff feeling of the Dunlop FX line, let's say for example. So I have to go with 8 out of 10. In terms of spin, it wasn't that bad, but nothing incredible even though it's a 16x19. So I have to go with 6 out of 10. So there you have the overall rating. I know it's kind of low, but at the same time, I would recommend this racket for high-level players who are ready to grind for the baseline, but also to transition to the net. So it has to be made for an aggressive baseliner. If you're not aggressive with that racket, then you won't have anything. So you gotta be ready to generate your own power. That's for sure. And even though the rating is kind of low, I really enjoyed this racket. It's just that this racket has some big highs and some lows, so that's why it's over there. But I felt like Dunlop did an incredible improvement with that CX line. So that's it for the video. Hope you have liked it. Thanks to Tennyson for letting me borrow this racket. Without them, it would not have been possible. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. And see you next time. Bye bye.